Hello, today I'm gonna do a relative compression test on a Peugeot 407 car. What I need for this, I'm using the method of measuring the current to the starter motor from the battery. So as you can see, there is a current probe attached to the main negative cable, and this leads to a USB digital oscilloscope by Hantec, and as a display there is a PC Windows operating system. Now let me explain a bit why I decided to make this relative compression test in the first place. Yeah, there was an issue on this car recently when it started losing the coolant fluid, and one of the possible explanations might be the broken head gasket. Although this wasn't the case eventually, as there was a broken plastic flange replaced and sealed. So the question about the head gasket or any mechanical issue with this engine remained in my memory, and just to give me a peace of mind, I wanted to perform this relative compression test anyway. In order to make the test without any mechanical intrusion jobs, or avoid any risk of breaking the glow plugs or injectors while removing them, you can take an advantage and use a digital oscilloscope for relatively easy setup and make the job as simple as possible. So the test will measure the current during the crank. In order to perform this test, you disable the fuel pump, which you can do by removing the fuse 15 amps located here in this engine compartment. Now as for the oscilloscope setup, there is only one probe for the current with a sensitivity of 100 amps per 1 division, and the trigger mode is in norm, which means the triggering of the events will start after the current will meet certain level, in this case about 300 amps, and the trace will start in this time-based position on the left side of the screen in order to cover several cranking cycles. Let me start the car for cranking, let's say for 2-3 seconds, and make a record on the display. Right, so I will save this screenshot for later analysis, and from what you can see already is that all the peaks during the starting the engine is relatively of the same amplitude and level. makes the test successful, and the conclusion is, yeah, the engine doesn't have any serious problem, at least from the relative compression point of view.